Alright guys, last video for right now is rectangles and squares. So we'll start with the rectangle. So it says a rectangle by definition is a parallelogram with 4 right angles. So a rhombus had 4 congruent sides, this one's got 4 right angles. That's going to be very important here in a second. So properties of a rectangle, again, all the properties of a parallelogram, which are the first 4. The additional ones are all angles are right angles, and very important, diagonals are congruent. Alright, so we're going to look right here. Quadrilateral STUV is a rectangle. RS, which is this right here, is 2P. And RV, which is this one right here, is P plus 11. Let me write that a little bit better. Alright, P plus 11. So just by looking at it, you'd be like, well, how are those related at all? Well, a rectangle says that SU and VT are both congruent. Parallelograms say that diagonals bisect each other. So if 2 congruent segments are bisected, right, then all the parts are congruent. So really, in a rectangle, all 4 of these are congruent, which is going to make this easy. So 2P is equal to P plus 11. When I subtract P from both sides, we get 11, and that's going to be my answer. Alright, so moving on. So quadrilateral TUVW is a rectangle, so VX is 7V plus 76. WX is 15V plus 68. What is UX? So we gotta be careful on this one. Same type of problem. Again, all 4 of these are congruent to each other, so the algebra is not going to be that hard. 7V plus 76 is equal to 15V plus 68. So I'm going to subtract 7V. That's going to give me 76, not 8. 76 is equal to 8V plus 68. Subtract 68, so 8V is equal to 8, which means V is equal to 1. But we have to find UX. So we have to find this. Well, all 4 are congruent to each other, so I can use either one of these. So 7 times 1 plus 76 is 7 plus 76, or 83. There's the length of each of those parts of the diagonal. So just make sure you read very carefully about what they're looking for. Alright, so quadrilateral PQRS is a rectangle. PR, which is the whole diagonal, is 5Z, and QS, which is the whole diagonal, is Z plus 80. Well, we said on the last page that the diagonals in rectangles, the diagonals in rectangles are congruent to each other. So that means 5Z is equal to Z plus 80. Subtract Z, that gives me 4Z equals 80. Divide by 4, Z is going to be equal to 20. Again, I'm going to say be very careful. Oh, well, never mind. Alright, so a square. So a square is a parallelogram with 4 congruent sides and 4 right angles. So this is why I said things were going to be very important with the other 2 definitions. So what parallelogram by definition has 4 congruent sides? Well, that's a rhombus. And what parallelogram by definition has 4 right angles? Well, that's a rectangle. And so what does that tell you about a square? Well, that tells us that a square is both a rhombus and a rectangle. Basically, a square is the combination of a rhombus and a rectangle. So let's do some problems. So quadrilateral VWXY is a square. What is WY. So we're given YZ, we want to know WY. Well, because it's a rectangle, we know that diagonals have to be congruent. And it's a parallelogram, which means those diagonals are also bisected. So this is congruent to this. So really easy. 34 times 2 is equal to 68. Done. Okay, so quadrilateral GHIJ is a square. What is the measure of FJI? Okay, so FJI. So I want to find this angle right here. Well, a couple things. I know that this is a right angle. I also know that each of these are right angles. And I know that they're all bisected. So if this is 90 and then this is congruent to this, well, 90 divided by 2 gives me 45 degrees. Alright, so quadrilateral EFGH is a square. What is the value of P? So again, a square has 4 congruent sides. So 6P is equal to P plus 80. Subtract P, we get 5P equals 80. Divide by 5. And 5 is going to go into 80 16 times. So there's your value of P. Alright, last problem. So again, 4 congruent sides. But this time it wants us to find DE, so it wants us to actually find the side. So we got to go one step further. So 8B plus 17 is equal to 4B plus 29. It's going to be 4B plus 17 equals 28. No, 29, not 28. Nice if I wrote the right number. 29. Subtract the 17, 4B is equal to 12, divide by 4B is 3. Make sure you read carefully so you know if you can stop here or not. In this instance, we cannot. So I'm going to take 3 and put it in for B here. So 4 times 3 plus 29 not equals 29. Plus 29. So that's going to be 12 plus 29 or 41. Alright, so that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Get your stuff done. Talk to you guys later.